Hi everyone, my name is Kiran. Today I'm going to show you and discuss about how Azure VM, especially Azure Windows Server, join into the Windows Server Active Directory domain. Like how to join Azure VM into domain and how to achieve it in Azure platform. There are different methods is available. Like each method, it's a different process. We can follow it accordingly. We can achieve it. I'm going to show you and that methods. Three methods I'm going to show you practically. One of the method I'm going to discuss that part, and today that is a agenda. Okay, and before that, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe, and if you really like my videos, please like and give the comments. Okay, even this is a relevant this topic relevant any if you are following different method, please comment so that even it's share the knowledge to everyone. It's even I can understand, I can learn from you guys. Okay, thank you, and let's jump into the topic. Suppose for this, what is the required? Generally we require the one Windows server based domain controller we required. Already I have, I can show you. And in the VM, there is a first one of the VM is available. That is a domain controller as a domain controller is available. This is a domain controller wise. Already I set up it. I can show you that login and the domain controller also, so that you can understand that is a domain controller. What is the IP address also, I will tell you. And here different networks I created for testing purpose, how it works, and how is the domain join, it will happen, and what other things is required. So definitely, like might be if you are not aware of this one, it's a very helpful because of it's a real time will perform it. Each company or different clients, different way they will follow the process accordingly, perform it. Okay, so let's jump into the try to log in the first of all this domain controller. Today I'm going to show you Azure Bastion. Through that, everyone knows, go to this one and directly click on connect, and directly here Bastion, and use Bastion, and we can log in. But everyone knows this is a one. Other than that, suppose I'm the like OS level access only. I don't want I don't have access of Azure portal, but still I want to log in this domain controller. How is it possible? Only it's a companies are providing Bastion. Through Bastion, how I can able to access it without login the portal? Yes, Microsoft is a provided, and previously also I created one video native uh, like RDB client. Through that, how to log in, I already shown you. And other than that, today I'm going to show you shared link. One of the option is a shared link, and I have the link, and I can show you using that link how to connect it. So this is a link, guys. Already I taken, and I'm going to show you incognito window and providing that link and enter. After that, you can see Azure Bastion RDB. If it is a Windows Server 3389, if it is a Linux means we can keep it the 2022, 22, and because of SSH, and it's a I'm providing the my admin credentials, my domain admin credentials for this. This is a username, domain admin credentials. I can show you. Give me a minute. It's a trying to log in, and this is a one my domain controller, guys. My domain controllers. So give me a minute. Let me show you, and go to the Windows administrative tools. From this place, if your domain controller means generally Windows, and it's a Active Directory domain and trust, and Active Directory module for Windows PowerShell, Active Directory sites and services, Active Directory users and computers, ADSI edit, and it's a this all DNS and everything, it's available. So this is a confirm, this is a domain controller. Okay, good. And coming to this is a my DNS server. My DNS forward lookup zone also is available. Okay, good. This is the domain controller. We understand. This is what is the IP address of this domain controller. I can provide the CMD, and it's a NS lookup or IP config. because of this is a IP config. Simply we can get the 10.0.0.4. This is the IP address of domain controller. Why is the required domain controller IP address? Because of, if you look into that in your on-premises also, generally on-premises what we'll do, if it is a one Windows VM, we can go to this network settings, network interface card settings, and Ethernet. This is a Ethernet card, and here we can change the settings. So let me show you ncpa.cpl. This is directly getting the network interface card, and it's a properties and IP version 4 and properties. From this place, we can see generally preferred DNS, alternate DNS, static IP address. We'll keep it like this. But Azure platform, we won't do it like that. If you perform, this is a update the static IP address and preferred DNS and alternate DNS. This VM we can't able to access. We can't able to access this VM. So how to perform it in Azure platform? How to join the domain, this VM? That's the way I'm showing here. So go to this VM, and right now I'm going to one of the method as one of the VM I'm taken. Already this is a in different network, guys, and you can see 172.160.0.5. That is a IP address range, and this VNet already VNet pairing with the domain controller VNet. Okay, so now how to join the domain? First of all, I will try to log in. It will recognize it by default or not. After that, how we can troubleshoot it, how we can get it, I can show you. Troubleshoot means it's very simple, guys. So I given the local admin credentials also same. That's the reason I'm providing same user ID, guys. So don't worry, don't confuse it. I'm trying to log in. Even I can show you. This is not domain join mission, but I'm going to show you the domain join also, how it will perform it. This is one of the method, and sequence wise what I'm showing, first method. Okay, but this is not a first method, second method, third method like that, but I'm showing here in this video as a one method, one of the method. This is a one. Okay, so this method, please look into that. Once I log in the server, so click on S, good, and it's a go to the local server. I can show you this is a work group model. Yes, this is a work group model. I want domain join. So what should I do? Generally, I don't want is a Windows firewall. I'm going to turn off because of it's a blockade. Otherwise, we have to create a firewall rules. Right now, I'm not interested to create a Windows firewall rules. That's the reason I'm going to turn off the Windows firewall rules. And work group model, there is a click it, change, and domain. And I'm providing the my domain name, lanwithtechie.com. Enter. And you can see I'm getting error details, and it's saying that the following error occurred when DNS was queried service location. SVR resource record used to locate Active Directory domain controller for the domain name. It's a lanwithtechie.com, not able to identify it. So and so, it's a query was service record LDAP underscore so and so TCP dot dc dot msdsc lanwithtechie.com. Like it's so many things are they mentioned, and it's a point out to Azure DNS. By default is trying to check it the Azure DNS, but Azure DNS don't have our domain, because of that is an internal domain. How is the Azure DNS? It will identify it. It won't be able to identify. So what is the issue? Now how to resolve it? So now issue understand, but how to resolve it? How this needs to be communicate with the our domain controller. So one thing here, go to network interface card. This is one of the method, guys. Click on network interface card and go to the DNS. And by default is a inherent from the virtual network. I don't want this is a one custom DNS, and I can provide the 10.0.0.4. And if you have additional domain controller, again, it's a second domain controller IP address also, we can provide it. Right now, I don't have, just I'm providing the 8.8.8. It's a Google domain, that is a one. but it's not required. But is at least a two like DNS record is required. That's the reason I'm provided like this, and click on save it. Once is a save it, and Windows Azure VM, that VM is a required the reboot because of this custom DNS needs to be identified, means it's a required the reboot, guys. That's the reason. Go to overview, just restart this virtual machine. Once is a restart completed, again we need to log in and try it. Definitely it should be work. Definitely it should be work, guys. So the domain join, I can able to do it. This is a one of the method. I can show you. Just wait for a second, and accordingly we'll look into that. This is a one of the method, guys. This is a one of the method, but this method generally nobody use it, and especially in the lab scenarios or bubble testing or before migration, some testing wise will use it this method. Generally real time we won't use it this method. Generally we won't use it this method. And this method, especially when we'll use it, means suppose on-prem hybrid environment. On-prem I have domain controllers. In Azure platform, I'm going to set up the same domain controller I want in Azure platform. That means on-prem to Azure, it's a synchronization, that AD synchronization, and it will happen at that time. We'll set up the on-premises as it is, and Azure platform we are going to set up it. The two, like it's a needs to be point out. At that time only we'll use this method. At that time we'll use this method, guys. Especially that particular VM level, and go to network interface card level and provide the on-prem domain controller IP addresses, that DNS, preferred DNS, and we'll provide it accordingly. Try to configure in Azure platform also one more domain controller, additional domain controller, we're going to set up it. This is a one of the scenario I seen in the real time, and accordingly I'm explained here. Okay, so it's a reboot is completed. Now it's a running, just a refresh. We'll try to log in, and we'll try to look into that. Can we able to join the domain or not? Click on connect, Bastion, use Bastion. So here I'm providing the user ID and password, trying to log in. It's already login VM. It's I think it's not rebooted. It's rebooted, I hope. So this, it's a reconnected, it's a trying to reconnect it. It's a, yeah, that is a disconnected. Yes, and you can see is a rebooted, and go to the local server, still it's a work group only. But I'm going to try to domain join, change and domain, and I'm providing the domain name lan with a techie.com, and click on OK. Yes, it's identified. It's asking user ID and password. I'm providing lan with techie.com. This is a domain credentials. At least a domain admin credentials is required. And this is one of the user account I already created. I'm going to use it. Same. This is a 1, 2, domain join. Yes, welcome to learnwithatk.com domain. Yes, the reboot is required, guys, and click on close, and it's required the reboot now. Once is a reboot done, this is a domain controller. It's like, under join the domain. Okay, great. This is a one of the method. What is another method? So for this another method, I'm going to show you another VM. This is a one more VM in the same network, but I don't want. Already we discussed network interface card level. We change that custom DNS, accordingly we perform it. But I don't want each and every VM. In this scenario, what should I do? So go to overview, and another method, I'm going to VNet level, entire virtual network level. Go to virtual network, under settings. Under settings, there is a DNS server. On top of it's above peerings, above is a DNS servers is available. By default, Azure provided DNS is available. I don't want. I'm going to provide the custom. In this custom 10.0.0.4, I'm providing my domain controller IP address. Here, one more domain controller definitely will maintain redundancy purpose, high availability purpose. and that domain controller IP address we can provide. Right now, I don't have only one domain controller for lab scenario wise. That's the reason. Right now, just save it. Okay. So somebody asks you, is it required the reboot of that service in this network? Yes, definitely. If you that server needs to be identified this custom DNS, that server required the reboot, guys. That server required the reboot. Even still, you can see there's the IP address range different. Okay, and it's a restart this VM also. Once is a restart, and we'll try to join the domain. I can show you practically. Once is a restart completed, and this VM also will identify our DNS, our domain controller Windows server based DNS. It will identify it. We can able to domain join. This is a one of the other method. First one method is a network interface card level, guys. And second method, what I shown you here, I'm trying to show in here network entire virtual network level. I'm trying to show you. Generally, this method also will use it. Other than that, there is a DNS proxy will use it generally in the hub and spoke topology wise. If you are using secure hub and spoke topology, if you are using, generally we'll go with the DNS proxy. What is the DNS proxy? What is exactly here? So generally what happened in the DNS proxy, I can show you, this is a hub network, generally separate identity platform separate subscription. This is a hub network. This is a spoke VNet. This is another spoke VNet. And this one VPN is available. This VPN, it's a under hub network firewall. There is a firewall, and peering is available. Peering is available. Peering is available. But it's a direct. There is no direct peering between identity platform to this spoke network. But still, this domain controller IP address, suppose example wise 10.0.0.4, I can give the under VNet level. There is a VNet custom DNS level 10.0.0.4. We can provide it. And suppose second IP address 10.0.0.5, another domain controller wise. ADDC 01 and 02. These are 0.5. That means .5, 10.0.0.5. That is a way, and we can provide it. But in this scenario, we'll get the problem, guys. Because of generally firewall, it's available. We'll do the UDR, user defined route. That means all the traffic via firewall. All the traffic via firewall. Through peering wise also, via firewall needs to be communicated. But in the firewall also, there is a by default DNS is available, guys. The DNS is a by default Azure provided DNS. But in this scenario, one issue will occur. So anybody face that problem, please comment below. Even I can discuss later. So really, I face the problem, and I know, and that solution also, it's a here, instead of in the firewall Azure provided DNS, we should use the proxy, and there is a custom DNS is available, and we should provide this domain controller DNS server IP address here in the firewall. In the spoke VNet level, instead of this domain controller IP address, we should provide the firewall IP address. In the custom DNS, firewall IP address we need to provide it, guys. So this is a called DNS proxy. This is a called DNS proxy. That means the DNS related this VM try to understand firewall IP address. It treat as a DNS, but actually firewall is not a DNS, and it will try to check it firewall IP address. But firewall, it's already under that. We set up the custom DNS. Which IP address? This domain controller IP address, and the traffic is forwarded and getting the name resolution, and like this. This is a DNS proxy, guys. This is called DNS proxy. Generally, this is one of the method generally use it, and whenever we are using secure hub and topology, secure hub and spoke network topology, if you are using, and this is a method we should use it so that we won't get the some routing, like especially name relation issues, we won't get it. Especially name relation issues, we won't get it. Otherwise, definitely intermediate issues, we can't. It's not easy to identify and troubleshoot it. Generally recommended, this is the one. Even you can refer the firewall documentation also. They will definitely mention this point, and accordingly you can follow it, guys. Okay, so let's jump into the second method I want to show you practically here. And already VNet level, we already update the custom DNS. Try to connect through Bastion this VM and join the domain. Even I can show you guys. And again, one more time here. One more time, I'm going to show you. So here, instead of network interface card, we want to do it at network level. So go to network and DNS, and we can see here. Okay, and connect Bastion, use Bastion, and I'm providing the username and password here. Enter, connecting. Okay, just wait for a second, and I can show you. There is another method, and one more method also is available, guys, and very interested that method. I put more efforts on that. I want to show you. So a lot of efforts I put it, like finally I achieved it, and I will show you that one also. And coming to here, local server, and here work group is available, and you can see I'm going to turn off, otherwise it's block the traffic. That's the reason. Right now I'm not going to create any Windows firewall rules, and yes, I'm going to change it. Okay, now work group model and change it, and domain LAN with techie.com. Yes, we achieved it, guys. You can see here LAN with techie.com slash kk, and provide the password, the domain admin password, user ID and password we provided, and login. So it's this VM also domain join, guys. This is another method. This is another method. Okay, good. This also we understand. And another method. This is a VM into different network, guys, entirely. And I can show you. This is a under 192.168.0.0 slash something is a series. In this method, I'm not using the network interface card level, that custom DNS. Even I can show you. Go to, this is a network interface card level, and I'm using the inherent the virtual network. Inherit the virtual network. Okay. What about VNet level? Somebody can ask. Yes. So go to the VNet level also, and subnet. Sorry, DNS, and you can see still it's I'm using the default Azure provided DNS only, but still I will try to log in. That solution also I will tell you, but I will first of all show you it's a domain join will work or not, and that solution how it work without custom DNS. Very interested, no? So without custom DNS, how we can achieve it? There is no custom DNS, still Azure provided DNS only, but how to achieve it? Think about that. So I can show you solution, but before that, you can think about that. What might be I used it for this? So it's trying to log in that server. Just a minute. It's loading. It's a low-end virtual machine I'm taking. That's the reason it's taking time, guys. Yes, almost loading is completed. And once is a server manager open, I can show you. It's a local, it's a work group model only. Right now, I'm going to join the domain. I can show you. Go to local server, and you can see work group model only and test VM. Clearly, it's showing work group model. But the VNet level also, I already shown you guys. I'm not customize the DNS. That means custom DNS, I didn't use it, but still I can able to do the domain join this mission. How I did it? I put a lot of efforts. You can put your some like puzzle to your mind so that you can think about that how I made it. This one change, and I can show you domain learn with techie.com, and you can see I can able to, sorry, I need to provide it like learn with techie.com/kk and provided my domain admin credentials. Yes, domain join. But how I achieved it? That is a question now. Yes, that solution now I'm going to show you. That solution is private DNS zone. Using private DNS zone, how is it possible? Yes, these you can see guys, I deploy the private DNS zone with my Windows Server Active Directory domain name. With that domain name only, I deploy the one private DNS zone. In this private DNS zone, I upload or I create all the DNS record, service records, my host record, everything is created, guys. Everything is created here. And one more point, it's a virtual network links. My domain controller VNet1, it's integrated, as well as right now that VM test VM01, it's available under VNet02. Those two VMs is a interlink, link with the this private DNS zone. Accordingly, I achieved this method. This method I achieved through like this, through private DNS zone. So in this, all the DNS records created here, accordingly I achieved it. So most of the time, you never seen these records available under Windows Server Active Directory. But these all record Cabros and global LDAP, GC, that means global this one of the name I forget the, I'm not majorly not worked on domain controller side, but I have knowledge and a little bit experience. That way, I try to set up this all on my domain controller DNS related all the records where it's available. I can show you that one also. So here, go to the DNS in the forward lookup zone, MSDC, and it's you can see sites related and TCP, and this is a record Cabros, LDAP, and TCP again, and two records and domain related, and it's you can see LDAP record, and these all SRV, service location. These records is a very important, guys, if you are going to perform through private DNS zone. So I put a lot of efforts to achieve this one, and that way I achieved it instead of using the custom DNS through private DNS zone. Through that we can achieve it to Windows Server, Azure Windows Server. We can join the domain with the private DNS zone. Through private DNS zone also we can achieve it, guys. I think it's a very lengthy video, but it's definitely it's a very helpful to guys. And around 4 methods we discuss here. If you know something other than that, any other methods is available, please comment below, and even I can learn from you guys. Thank you all. Bye everyone.